Welcome to episode 73 of the Drag Drive Repeat Show presented by Summit Racing. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight. We're going to visit with Jared and Sharon Klausner about their new event, Cackalacky Run 2025. Plus, during that same segment, we're going to do the Drag and Drive World Champion points updates with updates for overall points leader. Plus, there's a tie in the 850 and in 10-0 that you guys will have to listen to. It's going to be a big show. Let's get to it, man. If you'll hit that video, let's go.
All right, let's do it.
We're going to pack things up and hit the road and try to make it the next day.
Well, guys, again, welcome to episode 73 of the Drag Drive Repeat Show presented by Summit Racing. My name is Mike Narx. I'm the host of the show and the news, which happens on Saturday mornings. And the show, if you're watching this later, happens on Wednesday nights live right on our YouTube and Facebook channels. And my right-hand man, Mr. RHM over here, introduce yourself. Tell them what you got going on, dude.
I am Eric White. I am the co-host of both the show and the news. Each week, I feel like I'm doing something different. So a few weeks ago, I was a photographer doing pictures from Six Summer. In the last week or so, I feel like I've moved over towards the graphic design stuff. So been doing a lot of artwork and that kind of work the last week.
You mean like this artwork?
That would be one of them that I have done in the past week.
We can't do this without you being our race car friends. We can't. Literally, it's hard. It's no fun if people aren't watching or making comments or hitting that share button for us. You know, that's always a big plus. Race car friends to us are you're the glue that keep all this stuff going. And of course, our sponsors that make all this possible: Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Change 3D, who had a huge weekend last weekend, an awesome WAF Racing, which we're actually going to update. He has a brand new product on the market. We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. Ryan at Performabuilt Transmissions, awesome dudes. They are GM-based performance transmissions. Howard's cams, our boy Luke B. You know how he does. If you need cam shaft or valve train stuff, Luke B's your guy. Sweet Patina, if you need to look good, smell good, or have your car look good, Sweet Patina is your spot to go. And we haven't been talking about the 10% discount you get. TKO hand cleaning wipes, dude. Yeah. They're the best. They make your hands smell good and they clean stuff off. Racing Junk Classifieds, amazing setup over there. And then PowerTube TV, love it. Everybody helps us grow. All those sponsors help us grow. You guys help us grow. So hit the share button as we get in here. Let's get this thing started. Summit Racing Speed Legacy began in 1968 as a one-man startup and is now the world speed shop with 4 facilities and 200 plus catalog editions. Summit fuels your passion. They save you money. They deliver fast and offer top-notch customer service for more than 1,500 brands. Make sure to download the Summit Racing mobile app for easy access to speed parts. You can find them posting everywhere all day. I don't even know what their social media team looks like, but it's inspiring. I'll tell you that much. You can find them on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, posting like crazy. And then you can also find them doing interviews and conversations like what we have on the On All Cylinders podcast. From humble origins to the social media lane, Summit Racing stands by your need for speed. Do all of your automotive shopping at summitracing.com. All right, dude. Let's talk about fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I got a little nerdy the other day, and there's still a lot more nerd left. So these are preliminary. I still have to manually input a lot of stuff and figure out, points and records and all of that with 1 or 2 events that just happened. So we're going to work through that over the next couple of days, but I've been so busy with the Midwest Drag Race Series stuff. It's been tough. So again, if you guys were living under a rock last year, we created a points structure that assigns points for select national level events. Racers are awarded points for showing up, points for each day of racing, points for their final average, like a bonus if they are fast, and then points for finishing 1, 2, and 3 in their class. Plus, they get an extra point if they reset the class ET average record, which that's what takes so long is those type of things, right? We started this in 2023. Bryant Goldstone, I'm telling you, it was awesome watching him do what he did. He just got down with it. 114 points, won the first ever Drag and Drive World Champion presented by Summit Racing. Won that last year. And dude, are you looking at the top line here? He's on it to maybe do it again.
And he scored more points already than he did last year.
Yeah. So we changed a few things within the rule package. We provided more points for a win because we removed the additional point for resetting a mile an hour a mile an hour average because not everybody tracks those. So again, learning. And I think it's worked out, dude. 116 points already. Here's the key to this, right? He's one of the only people, maybe the only person, to do 3 national level drag and drive events this year.
Right.
And he's definitely the only one in the 6s to do it.
Yeah.
Crazy. Has won every class he's entered, reset the record twice in the 6s each event. So he literally has the only way he could have gotten more points is if he had averaged in the 5s. And he missed resetting the overall average or resetting his class average at Rocky Mountain Race Week by like 2/10 on his average or something like that.
Right.
It's absolutely crazy to be that close, or 3/10, something like that. But he's currently leading 116 points. Now, here's how this is going to work. We're going to begin doing a lot of what if type scenarios. Who needs to do what, who can actually come out and beat him. But I'll tell you this much. Out of the folks we've seen in the last 2 years, there's probably, you and I've had this conversation, a handful of people that can come and take this from him.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
There's not
It's
too many.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. One thing we did add last year one thing we added for 2024 was the opportunity for an 850 points champion. One, because I love that class, but then two, it's going to be very difficult in today's time for racers in the 8s to win the overall world champion points because there's just so many 6 and 7 second cars now. Like it's just going to
Right.
be too difficult. So we created this one because I feel like those guys are going to they're going to race. They're competitive as anybody that I know of. And with so many really fast cars being built, this gives them an opportunity. So that's the plan, right? 850 championship. So the current leader in that is Randy Seward with 73 points. Okay. And then Brian Acton with 72 points is also tied with Guy Pertano for 72 points. Now, here's how this works. 850 to 9999 average is where we're going to be looking for the meat of those people. As we move later in the year, that is going to get more difficult because sometimes people will take a plan B car and it will be, say they take a plan B car and it's a 12-second car, but they win their class. I'm going to allow those points in there because the other 2 events that they raced in were 850 style or 850 to 10-0 type classes. Okay. So bear with me. Again, we're working through stuff. If you're not pushing your envelope, you're not learning. You're not doing what you're supposed to. So currently top 3 in the 850 points championship race is Randy Seward, Brian Acton, and Guy Pertano.
All 3 of them have done 3 events.
No, they've all done 2 events.
They've all done 2. Okay.
Yep. And the reason Randy is ahead of Brian because they've both won both of their classes, but Randy reset the record at Sick Week for his class.
Gotcha.
So again, we're seeing that these 1 point bonuses are so important. So that he literally has as many points as he could have gotten. 74 points total would be the most that either of those guys could have gotten.
Gotcha.
Guy Pertano's a little different because he's not in a ET limited class. He's in like a big block NA class for both of the events that he's raced. The 10-0 top 3, this is where it's going to get, this is where a lot of the work comes in for me on my side. So if we see issues and we need to correct Mike, please let's do it. Let me know. Okay. Right now, Joe Haney leads with 60 points because he won Sick Week DYO. So that's an extra like 8 points that he got just from doing that, right? There's Brad Francis is in second place with 58 points. And then the tie for third is across 3 different people, but technically because of the faster ETs, it would be Jay Grabiak, Amber Matz, and Max Croning would round out your technically top 5 of the 10-0 points championship. So a lot of work that's going to go into that. Here's the way I'm looking at this. I'm not including anyone that's in the maybe one event was in the 9s or 8s and then one event was in the 10s. I'm not doing that yet because which one do you pick? Do you pick the yeah? So we're just going to work through this as we go. Once we get past drag week, that's when we'll really get really serious about figuring out how that is going to break down and what the point structure is for each of those racers. So it's really exciting to see all that.
Yeah, this is definitely your jam right here, is digging through all that data.
Yeah. And the hard part is we don't have all of the data from like Midwest Drags. I don't have all that input yet. I went through and was looking at like the top 3 of each class, manually inputting their ETs, manually inputting their points, and then I'll go back later and add everyone else. That's where we'll see sometimes that maybe somebody would move around, and that's why I'm not putting out like a top 10 yet, because I just don't have all of the data in yet. And it sucks because we go right up against that to right up against Miles of Mayhem. So it's like I've been trying to get all of this stuff put in, but there's just not been enough time with all the other Midwest Drag Race Series and Tulsa Raceway and Tulsa Speedway stuff that's been happening. So we're going to get there.
You're telling me there's not enough hours in the day? Is that what I'm hearing?
Man, there's not enough brain in Michael Narx's head. I'll tell you, that's the way it goes sometimes. But we have begun to see part of the package come together for the overall world champion, for the Drag and Drive World Championship. And our first event up to throw free entry into the pot here is Rocky Mountain Race Week. I want to say thanks to Matt Frost for doing that. I appreciate that. I know that literally, I mean, it takes money out of their bottom line, but we appreciate them supporting it. And of course, we saw for the first time ever, Bryant Goldstone use this to come compete in 1.0.
Yep.
It's awesome. That's why he's so far ahead, is because he won all that stuff at Rocky Mountain. He wouldn't typically have done that event, but because he was the world champion, because he won that, because Matt offered that last year to a racer in 2024, that's how Bryant got to do that. Now, this is going to be a big deal as we move towards like the Rocky Mountain mega race in 2025, because
that's true.
That it's going to be so hard to come by those spots because there's going to be so many people wanting to get in.
Right.
So it'll be kind of cool. Yeah, I'm excited about all of that. All right. Let's keep rolling here because I see Sharon and Jared are backstage. So let's talk about Driven Racing Oil and the event updates.
All right. Why gamble with performance or protection when you get proven results from Driven Racing Oil? Trusted by top engine builders, winning racers, and devoted horsepower enthusiasts around the world. Driven takes legendary base oils such as the ones from Bradford, Pennsylvania, which comprise their GP1 line. Then Driven boosts that superior base with state-of-the-art additive packages. Driven's GP1 Nitro 70 not only provides anti-wear protection, but can even shield cylinders from washout and fuel dilution caused by using methanol or nitro-based fuels. Learn more about Driven Racing Oil by following them on Facebook and Instagram at Driven Racing Oil, or shop now at drivenracingoil.com.
Well, let's talk about one of the coolest things that's ever happened to us was last year, and it's happening again this year. Guys, look at this right here on your screen. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you got to jump over to YouTube or Facebook. But we have our booth assignment for PRI 2024. Y'all, this is really exciting because this is a huge move in the right direction for us at PRI. For the folks that came by, we were a little harder to find last year. That is not going to be the problem this year because we have an amazing location. So if you ate in the yellow hall, you probably stopped at the food court that's going to be literally 2 spaces away from us.
Yeah. Yep. 4904. You can kind of see on the overall map there. And then when you hit the next slide, we're going to get a zoomed in look of where that booth is. Or are you frozen again? I think you're frozen again. Oh, we're going to be back to this, huh? So as you guys can see, You can see the yellow hull there. You can see where the yellow star is. That is where our booth is. And when we zoom in on that, you can see 4401 Summit Racing is right there off to the left side. We are a few aisles down. We are directly behind the airlift company. Booth 4904, you can see the drag drive repeat logo right there. That is going to be where our booth is at this year. So that's going to be super cool. And Mike just bounced and took all of my slides with me. So give me 1 second. Let me pull those back up. But yeah, like Mike said, this is going to be huge. People did find us last year, obviously, and it wasn't too difficult, but we were kind of hidden off behind another booth where they kind of extended out into the aisle, so it was a little bit difficult to see our booth from behind that. But like you said, this year we're going to be right up front. We're going to be real close to everybody, and there's going to be a bunch of traffic coming through getting food, so that's going to make things a lot easier as well. The slides are loading here, and then I'll get those pulled back up and we'll keep rolling. Mike said the internet was great today, not now. So, all right, where were we? All right, here we go. So, again, booth 4904, we are going to do our limited edition drag drive repeat PRI 2024 sticker. We haven't designed it yet, but we will do similar to what we did last year, where we'll probably do like 100 a day, the first 100 people that come to the booth. We've also tossed around some different ideas of fun stuff we might do as well. So again, here's where the booth is. You enter the yellow hall. You kind of either go in that left or right entrance, and we're going to be right off to the side there. Again, 4904, right behind Airlift Company and right down from Summit Racing Equipment, which is going to be cool because they're again right there in that main aisle, and we're going to be able to bounce back and forth between them, hang out at their booth for a little bit, and then have those guys down at our booth as well.
Dude, that is so frustrating.
Hey, welcome back.
I heard you talking and I was like, and then it just went black. I was like, great. Sorry, folks. I have no idea. So, Cox Communications did say the tornadoes like a month ago is still the cause of it. I think that's probably just an easy excuse. But anyways, okay.
It's not bad, except for when it kicks you out, it takes the slides with, and then I got to go get the slides. So
I know. I thought about that as I was trying to get everything to come back up. I was like, man, we may have to plan differently. Alrighty. So heads up hustle, Walter Racecraft has signed up. They are going to be a sponsor. And then there was another sponsorship made today, another announcement made today, but I didn't have time to grab the stuff for it. But I'm excited to see Walter Racecraft come on to a few different events. This is part of his he's doing this one, and then also he's a sponsor at Back to the Streets, which is really cool. So congratulations to Matt and the team over there. It's they specialize in third gen F body stuff, and dude has an amazing car, stick shift in a car. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yep.
And then of course Back to the Streets.
Yep, I was gonna say we've been posting a bunch about the Heads Up Hustle Racers as well. So we're gonna roll out posts again all the way up until the day of the event. So racer profiles, we've got a form to fill out, gives a little bit of information about the racer, their vehicle, and then kind of how long they've owned it and their goals for the week, which again, I think that's super cool. I like seeing that kind of stuff. And again, it gives you stuff to talk about when you're up in the booth as well.
Yep. That's kind of my goal, because that's the first event I'll be announcing at. Like as an announcer, not just color commentary. All right. Back to the Streets. Guys, you're seeing that correctly. Registration opens this Saturday, July 20th at 10 a.m. He locked in the final spot. He wanted to lock in the final track before he opened up registration. You guys are going to see a lot of stuff from Matt and the team over at Back to the Streets. They're working on flyers right now. They're working on all the stuff that goes along with the drag and drive, and now being able to figure out the route. So the route starts at Milan Dragway, Lapeer International Dragway, and Onondaga is the final track to lock in. So that's exciting, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. I was wondering how to pronounce that, so I'm glad you
Yeah.
took a swing at it.
Yeah, hey, we'll try it. Yeah, this is going to be another good one. Sadly, I'm not going to make it, but y'all know who he is. Motor Mania TV. They're going to be live streaming the event, so that's going to be a huge win for all the racers at Back to the Streets, but also for the whole team itself. Because Motor Mania TV, I don't know if they've really done many drag and drive events, so this is going to be a new thing for them to learn as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, let's the folks that are with us tonight are longtime drag and drive racers that are stepping in and doing their own drag and drive week-long event, national level event. And I think they've timed it perfectly, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I think there was the gap this year from sick week to sick summer. That gave us a lot of, downtime. That was the April was the month of regional events, and Sharon and Jared are going to take over that and give us a national event between sick week and sick summer. So let's go ahead and bring them on again. Jared and Sharon are the proprietors, are the hosts, the folks with the most for Cackalacky Run. That's going to be in the Carolinas. So, guys, if you'll introduce yourself and let's just get into this thing, man.
I'm Sharon.
I'm Jared.
And
So-
you guys are hosting Cackalacky Run. I want to know first, where did the name come from?
It's a thing from Fort Liberty. Fort Bragg. It used to get sent down there, and all the soldiers say we're going to North Cackalacky.
Oh,
So that's what it's called. Everything down here, it's we're down in North Cackalacky, that kind of thing, South Cackalacky. So
nice.
we were like, we were trying to come up with names. Well, none of them were good. I thought they were funny, but they weren't appropriate.
Appropriate, but they were not. No.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Well, yeah, that's always good. And a good name will transcend everything. Like it'll make people want to be there. It makes for great shirts. It makes for all that kind of really cool stuff. Well, tell us a little bit your drag and drive history. Where have you guys raced? What'd you do? All that kind of stuff.
Well, we started actually Race Week 2020 was our first event. We were supposed to go on a cruise that year, and of course, Corona came and got canceled. And we're like, let's try it. So we signed up. We got in, got lucky, and of course, like everyone else doing their first drag and drive, got hooked. And the next year, we did both events, Rocky Mountain Race Week and Race Week 2.0. We did Sick Week, the first Sick Week. We've done a couple of street meets.
All the race weeks.
All the race weeks since then, yeah.
Every one of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
race.
we love the drag and drive.
Oh yeah, and Race Week really kind of has created that second bump that we've seen. It would be interesting to see where things would have gone if Race Week had not happened, if 2.0 had not happened,
Right.
because I think we'd probably still have 4 or 5 events. But
Yeah.
when Matt showed that he could do it, I mean, we all know how that goes. We all signed up for 2020.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, for him to be able to put that together in 6 weeks and had an awesome event, and the cool thing was that he opened it up to that's another 250 people that can get in that
Yep.
maybe would never gotten in there, and that's all they wanted.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's what I was just thinking too, is like how well that worked, because you had so many longtime drag weekers doing drag week, and then drag week canceled. Well, now we have so many people that are trying to get in here, and another 250 people brand new. I mean, I don't know if there were many folks that carried over from 1.0 to 2.0.
I think there were a few. I mean, I know like the first one that we did, Finnegan was there. I think he's done it before, and Cletus was there.
Yep.
He's done it before. I mean, Tom McGilton. I mean, there was a few. But
Yep.
there was a lot of new faces from what I understand. And I mean, we were one of the new faces. We were with you, that's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Narx cart.
Yep.
I remember
Yep,
that.
I'm looking at it right now. Transmission's unbolted, just ready for me to find another one.
I got a Turbo 400 in the garage. You can have it.
Ooh. Now we're talking.
There you
Now
go.
it's a party.
So we talked a little bit about your drag and drive history. Let's talk a little bit about the cars that you've raced.
I'm the newbie in the relationship. I've only raced one car, and that's the CTSV. You've had a more colored past when it comes to racing.
A little bit. I mean, I had my first car at 17, which was a 1979 Pontiac Firebird. So I had a car that was older than me. And, it was one of those things where you have to remember, you don't have a whole lot of money, so you have to fix it yourself. So you got to figure out how to fix it. And I just got tired of fixing stuff. So I'm just going to make it better. We'll make it better. We make it faster. And now here I am. And now I'm racing the stupid thing. I've gone through, I think it was, the last count was 9 of that second generation Firebird.
Oh,
Because I
wow.
kept breaking them. It got so bad. I actually twisted one up at Englishtown Raceway back in the day, and I twisted the rear end of the subframe of that car, and it was New York, so it's a little rusty, and kind of twisted the car in half because too much.
Right.
So it's Firebird stuff. That's old school F body life. But I've raced a bunch of those. I did have a Honda Civic. It was cool. It was fun. Raced that thing, and then I had a 97 pickup truck that I raced. 4-wheel drive
Okay.
pickup truck that had a little shot of nitrous on it. So,
Gotcha.
but we won't talk about that or the fact
Quite a
that
few there.
Oh yeah, and most of them have pieces scattered all across the roads of the Northeast. So
Yeah.
it's,
Mike says he's restarting his computer.
Poor guy.
Yeah, he's been struggling with that. So why did you end up deciding to bring the CTSV, and how did that become your drag and drive car then?
Well, it wasn't my choice, actually. It wasn't by choice. I wanted to get out of like the mommy mobile. My kids were older, so long story short, loved the CTSV. Wound up finding one. He found it on his birthday in 2018. And I had no plans of racing or street racing, nothing. It was just I wanted a zippy car that I could drive around and have fun with, and I did. Until he decided to sign me up for roll racing at Streetcar Takeover Charlotte in June of 2019. Found out about like the week of, ordered a helmet off of Amazon, kind of watched a couple of YouTube videos. And since then I've been hooked. I'm not really a fan of roll racing, but it hooked me enough to want to try dig racing, and here we are.
Yeah, the race week thing is, I mean, we started doing the drag and drive, and the only car that we had that was a race car at the time was the CTSV.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really bad time in life for me personally. I had a lot going on personally, and I was really looking forward to that cruise to kind of get away from all the problems that were happening back home. And when that cruise got canceled, I was not even home. I was up in New York taking care of stuff that I had to take care of up there. In a real, upset kind of mood. And she just calls me and is like, "Hey, we're going to Rocky Mountain Race Week 2.0. I'm like, "Oh, yeah?" She said, "Yep, I got in. I bought tickets. We're going. We'll take the V." And I'm like, it instantly made me feel better, which made her feel better. And then all of a sudden,
Right.
it's just, that's what we do. So
Yeah.
it's just part of and now it's a part of who we are. Everything we do with the car, everybody's like, "Oh, you need to put turbos and do a turbo 400 and a Ford 9-inch." I'm like, "Yeah, no,
Not for a drag and
not
drive.
for a drag and drive."
Yeah.
It's like, run methanol. Not for us for a drag and drive. That's not, we don't have the methanol capabilities to do it.
Yeah, he wants to put zoomies on the car, and I was like, no, not doing it.
A CTSV with zoomies, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean that would be unique.
There it is.
And loud. I want to have the hearing at the end of
Yes. It would definitely loud.
Noise canceling headphones, man. We can make this happen.
You're gonna have to make the zoomies where they cut off at a spot where then you could pull off the the U's and put on mufflers still, so you can swap between race and street.
So here's what my thought was, though. If I do the zoomies like organ grinder and put them 6 feet in the air, it'll be all the noise will be over top of the car.
That's fair.
And then be just like organ grinder, and that's like one of her favorite cars is organ grinder.
I mean, true, but yeah, no, not happening.
Nice. So how did Cackalacky Run ended up coming about? So you guys have done some drag and drives. What kind of made you guys want to start your own, and how did Cackalacky Run become into that?
That was a decision because we did the Rocky Mountain Race Week. We did sick week, and we do street meet, and we have so much fun doing all this stuff. And we go to the drag strip, and all the time we're talking to everybody. We're like, listen, you guys need to come and do a drag and drive with us. I'm like, you need to come to Rocky Mountain Race Week. Matt's event is amazing. You will not have a bad time. It's impossible, really, to have a bad time at Matt's event. And everybody's like, I can't take 2 weeks off from work, because driving from here out there is 2-3 days, and driving back another 2-3 days. Well, there's your 2 weeks. So everybody kept saying that. And then Devin's event, Street Meet, is absolutely amazing. We have a good time on Street Meet too. But a lot of people that we know that race, they're like, I don't want to do 8th Mile or whatever. And so I'm like, we were always talking about, wouldn't it be cool if we had a drag and drive like right here in our backyard? We could do like Rockingham, we can do Darlington, we can do all the cars. We don't have to drive 3 days to get out there to Pueblo, or go down to Florida, 12 hours, 13 hours. And I kept saying it, and we kept saying it, and then we're eventually like, well, I don't think anybody else is gonna do it. I mean, Devin's got his, and his is in November, and I'm like, why don't we just do it ourselves? So it's kind of the way I do everything in life. Hey, Mike, welcome back.
Welcome back.
We'll see if I stay this time. I don't know.
Was something I said?
Yeah. Just totally ruined my mood. Just kicked me right out. No,
Yeah.
I missed you guys. That's restarted my computer. Fingers crossed. Here we go. So let's talk about dates and tracks then. What tracks are you hitting? What are the dates?
So starting March 24th of 2025. So it's the end of March, which in North Carolina is either going to be perfect drag racing weather, or it's going to be a little cold. This year it was perfect drag racing weather. We are starting March 24th at Darlington. If you've never been at Darlington Dragway, it's an amazing track. They're our host track. They hosted Hot Rod Drag Week last year, so it's a great track. They know what they're doing. When we were at Darlington on the 24th of March this year, the DA was 204. Was the highest it got.
Oh my gosh.
And it was 55 degrees. So it wasn't like it was like 20 degrees. It was 55, 60 degrees, and the DA was 204. So
yeah, that's going to be awesome.
We're going to go fast. Then next day on Tuesday, the 25th, we're going to be at Rockingham, which the coolest thing about that whole thing is Darlington is here, Rockingham is here. They're 50 miles apart. So it is not far. And then Wednesday on the 26th, we're going to VMP, which is a little far, but it is another amazing facility.
Yep.
I personally like their concession stand. And the track is cool, and the track has got a huge shutdown, and it's always sticky, but I'm not sure if you've ever been to VMP.
Yep.
But yeah, you know what I'm talking about then. It's not a concession stand, it's more of a way of life over there.
Oh yeah, for sure. They do everything they do is great.
It is. Then on Thursday, I lost track.
27.
Thank you. We're doing a drive day because we're going from VMP back to Darlington, and that's a fairly long drive.
Nice.
But it's not long enough. So we're going to go from VMP to Wilmington, North Carolina.
Okay.
On a drive day. We're going to have some checkpoints set up there. And then the next day, we're going to be driving back to Darlington, race Darlington Friday the 28th. And we're going to finish up our averages, finish up all that stuff Friday the 28th at Darlington. And then Saturday the 29th, going right into a shootout.
Oh,
and
perfect.
It's going to be very similar to how Matt does it and how Devin does it, where we're going to have the fastest cars and some heads up stuff. And then everybody else going to get thrown into a big old bracket race. And it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we're seeing like some people kind of take some chances, and I think that stuff really works in this group because I think there's a lot of people that have stayed away from drag and drive because they just don't understand. You know, that it's like a time trial. I get it for a lot of folks, but a lot of folks want that heads up status. So this is that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, definitely, I'm planning on being there for sure. We'll. Why are we going all the way to where do you say Wilmington?
Yes.
What's way over there? Anything cool in the route plan for that?
So the deal with Wilmington is that I wanted to make sure that we had plenty of miles to qualify for the World Championship because, again, Darlington to Rockingham is only 50 miles.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure we had plenty. But Wilmington, I love Wilmington. One of the checkpoints that we actually have set up, I've actually been on the phone with them. They're redoing their parking lot right now. They're going to have space for 500 cars. Concrete parking lot is the Battleship North Carolina, which is an actual World War II battleship that's sitting in Wilmington.
Okay.
That's going to be our checkpoint. They're giving actually group rates for anybody who wants to take the tour on it. And because we're going to give you the whole drive day to Wilmington, you'll be able to kind of stay there and spend some time. I don't have anything confirmed yet, so I can't say what it is, but I'm working with one of the towns around there that we're trying to set up something pretty cool with the town sponsoring for us on
Okay.
Thursday afternoon/evening. It's not set up yet, so I'm not going to say what it is, but that's kind of what we're looking like. And I think that Wilmington is a good spot for everybody to stop. It's a good halfway point for where we want to be. So that's kind of why we're going all the way out there. And I mean, I know that when we did Sick Week, some of our friends from out in Oklahoma City, one of their biggest things they want to do is they wanted to go see the ocean. They wanted to go do some fishing when we had some time. And you know what? There's no better place for it than Wilmington, North Carolina. Go to the ocean,
Nice.
go do some fishing. There's a nice little spot where everybody knows about that. I'll even put it on the map that you can go and you can take a chicken leg and put a piece of string on it and go catch yourself some crabs.
Nice.
So
are you gonna do like some kind of like racer party or anything that day, or is it just
We're
gonna
trying to
be
work
kind of
something
hit your
out.
checkpoints?
we're trying to work something out that we could do that. We don't have. I don't want to. The thing of that is that Wilmington's a big city, but outside it's a bunch of small towns.
Okay.
And I'm trying to work with the small towns around outside of it because I don't want to bring everybody through there. These small towns that only have one main drag in and out, and I don't want to be like, what is going on here? And then we start having, that's exhausted too loud. So I don't want to send anybody through a town if I haven't given them the town the heads up. Hey, this is going to happen. Just because I don't want to have any major issues that could arise because it is a beach town, so it's very, they're kind of. They could be kind of, we want to give them a heads up.
Right.
I'm just going to leave it that. I'm going to leave it that. We want to give them a heads up.
There you go.
Yep. I think that's a good idea. So let's talk about some of the classes for the event. What do you guys have set up for that?
We have quite a few classes. We're doing unlimited. We have an 850 class. We have a stick shift class. We have a daily driver, DYO, a heavyweight,
I know.
a 9-0,
outlaw radio, which is
radio.
Anything you got, as long as it's on a radial tire, bring it on. Let's see who's the baddest with the radial because these are going to be radio prep tracks.
And
Nice.
a 235 class.
Okay. So plenty of options then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and the DYO class is we're actually going to wind up splitting that for sure because we have a lot of people interested in it. I thought you were on your way to come get that Turbo 400. I'm honestly.
Sign me up. I'm in the car. I'd rather do it from the car anyway. Man, frustrating. 1/8 mile or quarter mile stuff? Sorry.
All quarter mile.
Oh, cool.
Except for the 235 class. Yep. Those guys are going to go 8th. I don't want somebody trying to do 200 miles an hour and 26-inch tires. I think Devin proved that was a bad idea.
Yeah. He proved you can do it, but I think it's more fun to go 8th on that stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I do believe these tracks are going to have us. I mean, you know the tracks. You've been to these tracks before. The 235s are going to get down. And if they're going to get down, they're going to get down fast.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I see Steve Willingham over here making comments. He was on last night with Adam Dory
on,
on
Steve.
the NASCAR drink. Mm-hmm.
Steve's actually put his interest for him, man. And
That's awesome.
He was down here doing street meet, and he had a great time. I think he came in 3rd in the 850 class of street meet, or the whatever class it was that we were all in. I don't remember. Was it limited? I don't remember. He beat out my 2 buddies with the Supras. Is all I'm going to tell you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, what did your buddies think of it? Did they have a good time?
They have both signed up for street meet again.
That's awesome.
So
very cool.
The guy in the black Supra, he's not going to do it in a Supra again because he realized he's a little too big to be spending a week in a race car Supra.
A Tillet seat, no less.
Yeah, he's in a Tillet carbon fiber seat, driving on radials, and it's not like a width thing. He's just 6'1", and it's just too much. His knees were killing him. Oh, yep. So Bear right there. Hi, Bear. Bear is the guy from Darlington Dragway. We were actually out there last night, and he had cars going real fast last night.
Yeah.
So
those guys know how to do it, man. And radial stuff. We know that's becoming a huge part of the drag race culture, and those tracks know how to do all that. And I think it probably helps. They're all in the same area, so like they can all go to each other and visit and do all that kind of stuff. It's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So, so where can people find out more information on the event? Where do they need to go to check that out?
They can go on, we have Instagram and Facebook, Cackalacky Run. And then we also have a website that has all the event information. And as we update things, we'll have it added, of course. Registration will be on the website, and that's cackalackrun.com.
spelled exactly as you see it on the screen.
Yep, exactly.
So it's all right there. All the class information is there. All the expression of interest form is there for anybody. We're doing the expression of interest. First 250 people that fill them out, they're going to get a 48-hour head start on registration. 24, 48, whatever. They're going to get a head start on registration.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so you guys got to be getting close to that number, and then of course you want as many people to fill out the interest form as possible, simply because that's another way for people to get, I'm not going to say exclusive info, but a lot of times the people that have filled out that form get early stuff. They get early information. They get early things, from like a newsletter standpoint type deal. Well, I saw you had made a post about a couple sponsors, so you want to give them shout outs?
Yeah, so Vengeance Racing, they are sponsoring the 850 Extreme Street class. Thank you, Vengeance. Ron and Misty, you're awesome. I love you. They are on board. They actually, if you're not familiar with them, they have a few cars that have done drag and drives in the past. Ryan Leager with the Camaro, and Ned Dunphy with the Viper. He's done Drag Week. So I'd be curious to see if any one of them come out. And there's a few others that we've been talking and kind of coaxing to come out and do a drag and drive. So that'll be interesting. We also have, most recently, we made a post, Sipple's Speed and Performance. John and Jessica, they're in the Mopar world. She drives Tigger, which is an orange Challenger with the Tigger stripes on it. She is dominating her classes when she runs. John, same thing. They're awesome people, and they're on board. And they, I believe, will be most likely racing with us as well.
Nice.
So they told me some information. I'm not going to share it because it's not my information to share, but they have something pretty cool. So I'm excited to see that come out.
Oh, nice. That's
yes. Awesome. And new information update. So gettracking.net. They also are with Side by Side Trackers. For those that don't know who they are, they sell GPS tracking devices for vehicles, trailers, and such. And I know that most recently on Rocky Mountain Race Week last month, the unfortunate happened to one of the racers, and a couple of cars had gotten taken from their hotel. And I know that they were able to recover one of them, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that impressed us both is that this company literally helped spread the word. They paid money to boost posts to get the information out there to help get the car recovered. And they didn't even have their tracker or anything. They were just doing it because they're so passionate about safety and being able to not have your stuff taken, right? There's not so great people out there. And, for most people that are in the racing community, you're spending a lot of money, and it's a hard earned money. It's not just, pocket change. So you want to protect your investment. And so they are now on board as a sponsor. They have given us a personalized link to purchase trackers or anything that they sell with 20% off discount. The link is actually live right now on our website. So if you go on the homepage, if you go past the expression of interest form, you'll see a get the link now thing. And when you go on, it'll bring them right to their website, and you get 20% off your purchase.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That's a huge win for the community. 20% off is a bunch of money.
Yeah, and they're
not expensive.
They're not expensive, and it's a cheap insurance kind of thing. And I mean, I know a lot of people that when we were talking about doing stuff in South Carolina, North Carolina, like Hot Rod Power Tour came through here and had cars taken, and I think the Drag Week a couple of years ago or something had something taken, and it's like you can't stop people, but you can do your best to, as soon as something goes wrong, you can get it right back. And these guys that get tracked, they're so passionate because literally it spawned because
They had their
They
stuff
had their
taken.
stuff taken.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they decided we're not going to do that. So
yeah, and one thing Eric and I have talked about in the past is just don't make it easy. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like if there's a little sticker on that window that says, tracker inside or something like that, like maybe they'll go on to the next card. That's what you want. You want them to be like, it's gonna be too tough to get that one.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
You want it to be to where they just look at your car and say, nope, not going to bother with that. I'm going to move
Yep.
on to the next one.
Yep.
So, yep,
Yep, there it is.
there it is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. And
they're super cool.
that's huge. Yeah.
So
Oh,
we're real
guys.
happy
be
that
cool.
they're going to offer that stuff for us.
Yeah. Well, guys, what haven't we covered? I know I've been in and out here, but what are some things that we haven't talked about that we need to about the event?
That we want everybody to come out and have a good time. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you run 6 seconds in a quarter mile or you run 17 seconds. We want them out here. We've got a lot of people doing expression of interest forms. We have a lot of people I know I've spoken to personally that are like, "Yep, we're coming. I know that whatever we're coming. I don't know what I'm bringing, but I'm coming."
That's awesome.
We've got a couple of big tire cars that say that they're coming. And we are going to make sure that they get down the track. Just like I have 2 people I know right now that say they're definitely coming. That are both trying to hit 200 miles an hour on 275 in the quarter mile.
Come on.
And with the DA being, I mean, it's going to be in the hundreds, not thousands. It's going to be in the hundreds that week.
Wow.
I don't know. I really want, and I'll put this out here right now. I want to see Matt Frost bring the Hulk out here and unleash that car in 200 DA down Darlington Dragway.
Yeah.
Again, because he did it on Hot Rod Drag Week,
Yep.
but I think what happened was that it just built so much boost because the DA was so much lower.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I swear I would see that car is going to do a 620 if he could. If he
I
could,
hope.
it's going to do it.
Yeah.
Well, if Jason comes, it's a twofer for Brent.
Oh yeah, that's great. So
That's
I
awesome.
want to see Matt Frost bring that car down here and throw
Yep.
it down some 200 DA because he what do you do, 680?
Yep.
And Vandermeer, yeah, he's got this.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
actually, something else new that we haven't announced yet. Adam Dory, for those of you that have done Rocky Mountain Race Week or Race Week, we asked him if he would be willing to do his thing on the mic, and he is going to announce for us all week long.
That's
Another.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We forgot about that.
Yep. Another thing that we are in talks of is we've been talking to Chad Reynolds at Bank Shift to do our live feed, and he is totally down. He is awesome to work with, so he will be doing the live feed, so you know what you're going to be getting if you're familiar again with Race Week.
Yeah.
Poor Mike up there.
Mike Green or Bridge on his way to get this Turbo 400. That's what happened right there.
You dropped some new news and got him so excited he froze.
I know it.
His internet just couldn't take it. But we really like the way that Adam does his thing and Chad does his thing. So if we can make it all work, and that's what we're trying to do, we would love to have it work exactly that way. Because I mean, Adam is I'm biased. I love Adam as an announcer. The drinking game may get a little out of hand every once in a while, but I do love him as an announcer.
Yeah, and not only that is, this is such a great community, all the sponsors that are involved. We want to try and keep it, within the community that people are passionate about racing and about the drag and drives as much as we are, and the people that are actually, racing in the event. So anything we can do to kind of keep it within the community, we absolutely will, especially small businesses. We are still looking for some sponsors. So if anybody's out there, they want to get involved, we still need a title and/or presenting sponsor. And we have plenty of sponsorship packages, and we still have some classes that need to be covered. So if anybody wants to get involved, hit me up either on the website or on Messenger, Facebook, whatever, and we can talk some things out.
Perfect. And registration date? Do you guys have a date set for the registration yet?
I don't have a registration date set yet, and the reason is that we are not 100% sure what we are going to wind up charging for the registration.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to do it very similar to how Devin does Street Meet, to where you're going to pay your entry to each track that you go to. instead of us taking the pre-entry. So it's going to be a lot less for your initial cost. But if you break and you wind up not racing after the first day, you don't have to pay the other 4 days worth of entry. And while, $100 is not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, that's mostly your first tank to get home. It's a little,
Right.
it helps out a little bit. So we're waiting a little bit to do that, but we're looking probably in the October timeframe for registration.
Okay.
But that's why we haven't put out a date yet. We're not sure exactly monetarily what we're going to do, and I don't want to take anybody's money until I know exactly what you're getting.
That's understandable. Well, when you guys decide on a date, we'll have you back on here and we can make that announcement.
Ooh.
Absolutely. I'm down.
So,
hopefully
yeah.
Mike will have his internet fixed by then.
Yeah, he said, I have no idea what's going on. So,
Poor guy.
yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. And before we let you go, why don't you tell everybody where they can find more about the event and all the social medias and all that stuff.
Yep. So again, it's Cackalacky Run on Facebook and Instagram. We also have a chat group called Cackalacky Runners. So you can join that and chat and, call people out, whatever poke fun. And then you can also go to our website, which has all the latest information about class rules, event information, and so on. And that is cackalackyRun.com.
Awesome. Y'all, I apologize for being in and out. That's why we have such an awesome co-host here, Mr. Eric White, just taking over, being the man. All righty. Well, y'all, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Thank you for doing this. I hope everybody learned a little bit, and we get to have some fun. I can't wait till March to see you guys there. I'm sure we'll see each other before then, but let's see each other at your event. So good luck. I know how hard that is, and it's going to be awesome.
We're going to do our best.
Thanks for having us.
All right, guys. Thank you
very
very
much. If you guys need anything, if you need anything from us, always reach out too.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going to happen.
All right.
We're not shocked.
See you guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
Man, talk about a crazy bit of turnaround there, dude. Thank you so much for being so awesome and taking care of me when I'm gone, dude. I have no idea. It's never done that. It's usually does it once maybe, and then we're fine. But it was not that this time. So hopefully we can get through that. Let's keep rolling here.
All right.
Alrighty.
Looks like I forgot to show the picture we had here. But yeah, so this shows the dates, the tracks, and the website there. So again, make sure you guys check that out. It's going to be a cool event, and they'll probably come back and let us know when registration comes out, and then we can relay that information on to everybody else.
Yeah, we'll be watching it pretty closely. Well, if you don't mind, I'll do the Molly ad read.
All right, go for it.
All right, attention high performance enthusiasts and racers, meet the Molly Motorsport Power Pack Kit, your ultimate solution for power packed performance. The Power Pack pistons are made from either 4032 aluminum alloy to allow for tighter cylinder to wall clearances and improved temperature stability, or 2618 alloy to allow for increased detonation resistance. Tailored for various engine families from small block Chevrolet to Volkswagen and Audi, Molly has you covered. What sets them apart? Forged pistons, Grafal coating, and phosphate treatment for peak performance and durability. Elevate your ride with Molly Motorsport, where performance meets precision. Unleash the power within. Visit mollymotorsport.com for more details. And for the podcast listeners, Molly is spelled M-A-H-L-E. And one other reason to use Molly pistons is because what you're seeing right here in this picture, for the folks that are on YouTube and Facebook, these guys are also drag and drive racers. It's one of the biggest things with us. We want supporters and folks that understand what you guys are going to be going through. Well, this week's spotlight for the co-pilot, Molly Motorsports co-pilot spotlight, comes from Donovan Linwood about his wife, Marissa. You'll have to read the full article on the website here in just a little bit, but here's a few tidbits. One question we always ask is, tell us a story about how your co-pilot saved the day. She saves every day on these events. She's the glue of the program. She constantly makes sure I have what I need, keeps me on track on getting done what needs done, recording every pass to make sure I can always tell what the car is doing, and keeping me hydrated and alive. Yes. 100%. I think wives make great co-pilots because of that, but I don't know if Melissa and I could ever do one together.
I would say that's a good way to save the day.
Yeah,
Keeping
yeah,
somebody
for sure.
hydrated and alive is definitely
Yeah.
helpful.
Right. And another one that he says here is another question that we have is tell us a story about how your co-pilot ruined the day. This is always a fun one because you get some pretty funny answers. And he said that she sent us 20 miles up the wrong Highway 121 on Rocky Mountain Race Week 1.0 2024.
Oof.
Yeah, so that's pretty tough. Well, I want to say thanks to Donovan for sharing this, sharing the pictures that are out there of them and him and her doing that. And again, we refer to these husband and wife teams as power couples because it really does take a really strong bond to get through a week of drag and drive in a drag and drive car, especially one that's as fast as his. He raced in the Rowdy Radio class this year at 1.0, and he earned every bit that he got. I'm telling you, they had it hard. It's 140 plus degrees in some cars, so I can imagine his was like that because it's a dark color. So
Yeah, especially full blown race cars. Like
yeah,
when you're riding in something like that with a spouse for that many hours, no creature comforts and not a comfortable ride at all. I'm sure it'll test your relationship pretty quick.
yep. And big shout out to them. Marissa is an ER nurse and had her stuff with her when they came across the coatings. They were the first on the scene at that accident and definitely helped keep all of that stuff together. And those guys are recovering well because of the efforts that Marissa and the whole team of people that was there with them, the whole crew that they had, and all the other cars that were cruising along with them. They all helped and jumped in and got all that going. So congratulations to them and thanks again for submitting that. If you would like to submit your own co-pilot spotlight, you can do that on the website at dragdriverepeat.com/co-pilot spotlight. Just a couple questions on there asking just some fun stories. I think we're going to put together a collage of stories of how someone saved the day and how someone ruined the day. I think those are my favorite questions of the forum for sure.
Yep. The link is in the chat and it will be in the show description. So click on that link, go fill that out, and gives us one more thing to talk about and highlight those co-pilots that don't get as much attention.
Yep, that's right. All righty. Well, guys, again, we can't do this without you. We can't do this without all of our race car friends that are out there that make, I don't know, that 1 a.m. stuff I talk about all the time. It was apparent last night as I was writing articles. 1 o'clock in the morning is like a magical time. There's nobody in my house doing anything. I'm just in there typing away, and had some people make comments, had some people share some stuff. That's a big motivator to spend another 10 or 15 minutes on things, and that's a big part of being our race car friends right here. And as we talked about PRI earlier, we will have a brand new sticker that will be available to the first 100 folks that visit the booth this year for 2024 at PRI. It's going to be specialty. It's one off. Every year we're going to have a different decal or different sticker for each time. And that's because you guys are awesome. And then thank you so much to our sponsors as well. We appreciate them so much. Summit Racing, who's going to be 4 rows from us at at PRI, and then Molly Motorsports, who's about 8 rows, I think. Driven Racing Oil, who's close. Car Change 3D, WAF Racing, Performer Built Transmissions, Howard's Cams, Sweet Patina, Racing Junk Classifieds, and Power Tube TV. We can't do it without you guys as well. It takes a whole village, and that village continues to grow every day. And part of that growth is because of the folks that are watching this right now. The gentleman's agreement. Listen, we love what we do. We love doing this. Love talking. Love looking at stats. Love doing all that. But it takes time. It takes money. And the gentleman's agreement is we're going to continue to do that as long as you guys will hit that follow or share button wherever you're watching that. We would appreciate that as we work our way towards 100,000 followers across the brand. And then PowerTube TV, y'all. We can't do this without them. We post exclusive content over there. So PowerTube TV is your ultimate destination for automotive entertainment. Enjoy an unparalleled streaming experience on the 100% free web-based site, Roku, or mobile apps. You can also watch on Android, Fire, and Apple TV. So we're excited to partner with PowerTube because they were created by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. You can find a bunch of I would say not vintage shows, but original content like Pinks and Pinks All Out and Pastime. alongside a lot of new and original content from us and a ton of other content creators. And so PowerTube TV is more than a streaming platform. It really is a community. They have Facebook pages for all the stuff. They help us grow in a lot of that way. So if you want to find out more, you can watch powertubetv.com or follow them on all the social media apps. They post a lot on Facebook and YouTube.
You guys, we will see you on the next episode.
Yep. All right, guys. See ya.
Like this show? Want more? Then head to watchpttv.com, the new 100% free PowerTube TV streaming network. Home of the best classic and new motorsports racing and build shows on the web.